Hello everybody. So today we will talk more about our border collies. Our border collies we have been breeding for about 2-3 years. We had our new kennel space, about 2,000 over square feet, and we have 2 units. Then we decided that we renovated a big play area. We decided that we can have some bigger breeds lah. So one of my choices was border collies. I like golden retrievers as well, but then we chose the border collie in the beginning. So I expected them to be very playful, very active, very crazy, high stamina. So what happened is it actually, up to now, after taking care of a number of border collies for 2 to 3 years, I noticed that maybe it's our bloodline. Our bloodline of border collies are not really the actual herding means for working for herding, that kind. We track back their pedigree to about their 80s to 70s, 90s dogs, all the way up to now. They are actually show dogs lah. So maybe it might be a little bit more of a show bloodline comparing to those that really work as a herding breed. So I noticed that my border collies are not that crazy as I expected lah. So what happened is this bunch of border collies, they are not that high energy to what I expected, because researching the breed, reading up about the breed, I thought that they are gonna be so crazy, so active. But maybe the energy level is not much higher than my Shibas that we had for many years lah. So that's one thing that I noticed lah. So few years ago when we brought King back, the one thing that really made me really love this breed is that their temperament is very nice, very mild, very loving. So the part where makes my heart melt the most, right, is where I see King playing with my daughter, which is at the time 1 year plus. Then my daughter was poking the eyes, pulling the hair, pulling the ears, and then King was just not really bothered by it, let her do, and she was quite rough lah. So and quite often my daughter will play with the King, and then being a daddy, I was a bit afraid of a big dog playing with my daughter. But then after a while, I just have complete trust with my border collie, because of his really zero temper. I mean, zero, like really no temper. So what happened is, because observing them for a few years, we have been putting our border collie with our rough collies, with our other breeds, even smaller breeds. We bring them home, play with my kids, play with my other dogs. Even my Chihuahua plays with my border collie, and he has zero temper up to now lah. Which is, as a Shiba breeder for 10 over years, I was very amazed lah. Because at the end of the day, yeah, we can train them to be desensitized and all that, but even Shiba, sometimes when they meet alpha dogs, sometimes they growl at each other a little bit. We still face that a little bit lah. But we try to manage our bloodline, so like if those are very aggressive, like for my Shibas lah, I will choose not to breed them. But for our border collies, I was very amazed. So I expected the downside of these border collies to be very active, but turned out to be, of course they will be active, but turned out to be they are not as active as I thought they will be lah. So looking back into the bloodlines, looking at my puppies, and my puppies also are not really so active lah. That's what I felt. So maybe because of our bloodline, it might not be that all border collies are like that. So I was very happy looking back, I'm very happy that we chose this breed lah. Because border collies, they have a very manageable coat. A coat that is very, compared to my Shibas, right? My Shibas still shed a bit more than my border collie. That's what I feel. And then, although he's bigger size than my Shiba, the drying time might not be more than the Shiba. So I always compare to the Shiba because that's like our first breed that we bred for many years lah. So up to now, looking back, I'm very happy that we chose this breed. They are, although they look a bit big, they are not very heavy. They are maybe about 20 kg plus minus, or maybe our bloodlines are around there. and then they are very loving, very motivated to work. So whenever you see them, they will come to you, they will look at you with the eyes of like waiting for commands, waiting for you to tell them to sit down, stay, turn around, do something, you know. They are so eager to learn, eager to be working, and then eager to wait for your command. So I find that Border Collie is a very nice breed in that sense lah. Of course, there's many good things. The downside is that usually they require a little bit more exercise than maybe many other breeds. But for my king, you know, for me, if I'm not that free to every time bring them out to play, I just take a little ball. Don't really need a big space. Just throw back and forth. He can exercise for a long time lah. You know, even if it's not a very big space lah. So what I want to say is very important is that our mindset. A lot of us thinks that if we have a Border Collie, we need a bungalow, we need a big space, we need a huge house. But in Singapore, it's very difficult lah to have. I mean, some of us have, some of you have lah, a big house lah. But you know, for us, I find that actually the importance about spending time with your dog is actually more important than a big house. Why I say that, right, is because Border Collie, if you bring them to a bungalow and you stay there and you house your Border Collie in the bungalow, after some time when he adapts to the place, you know, all dogs are like that. When they are comfortable at home, they will be sleeping most of the time. They won't suddenly be jogging in the circumference of the house 2.4 kilometer or 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer. It's impossible for a dog to suddenly just start jogging because they need exercise. So what I'm trying to say is that actually, if you want your dog to exercise, the very important thing is actually to trigger them, have fun with them, enjoy with them. You have to take their favorite toy, throw around, you have to play with them, then dogs will start to get active, or take your leash them and bring them out for a walk. Then they actually get their exercise. So what I'm trying to say is, I would think that spending time with them is actually more important than having a very big house. If you have both, that's the best. Yeah, so I think that a lot of us have this misconception, or maybe is for me is that my research versus my experience now that I have after a few years, right, is that I felt that I thought that Border Collie should be way more active than what I see lah. So that's something that I felt very happy with this breed lah. So looking back, I was actually choosing between Border Collie and Golden Retriever. So I decided not to do Golden Retriever instead. Is very mainly because of the health reasons lah. So I love Golden Retriever. They are actually maybe slightly more elegant than the Border Collie because the way they stand is more majestic, or that very beautiful when they are show dogs. I just personally felt that I'm very afraid of the hip dysplasia in their bloodlines. Also a bit afraid of their weight. So because Border Collie versus Golden Retriever can be 35 kg plus lah. Border Collie is 20-ish lah. So actually it makes a very big difference on their weight. I like to choose a slightly lightweight dogs because in Singapore I felt that our environment, you know, the floor, the house, the slippery floor sometimes, you know, the heavier the dog, the higher chance of them having bad structure because of our small house, our slippery floors lah. That's one reason lah. The other reason is that for me, when we choose a breed, it's best if we can choose a breed that is already fairly healthy. So like for example Shiba Inu, that's our favorite, is because the health is really solid. So you compare to many breeds, Shiba Inu is one of the top in terms of health lah. But they have their downside. Like for example, they are a little bit more aggressive. So you know, to take care of a Shiba, the upbringing is very important, the training is very important, how to desensitize them, how to socialize them, all these are also important for a Shiba because that's the flaw of the breed. So when we go back to Border Collie, the flaw of the breed is the high stamina, which to me is not as high as I thought. So like for example, why I didn't choose Golden Retriever, because the flaws of the breed is like hip dysplasia and some other health issues. So I ended up choosing Border Collie over Golden Retriever lah. That's my personal choice lah. So up to now I felt that there are more strong points, positive points than negative points for Border Collie. Yeah, so that is something I'm very pleased about, and just sharing to you about how we felt after having Border Collies for a number of years lah. So very happy that our king is now the top #1 Border Collie of Singapore in 2023. So this year we will let him have a break. So I'm just very glad to choose this breed lah. Thank you very much. Bye bye.